Hello and welcome, my beautiful people watching this. This is my first vlog, sorta. I scrambled together some video clips into something that vaguely resembles a YouTube video to share with you guys my recent adventures. These clips were all taken in the past couple of days when I was in Italy. So, to the point. Well, in the last week, or maybe week and something, I was a part of this international youth exchange. That was a project with participants from different countries from all over Europe and also Africa, and it was great. We were in this little town called Montecatini. I think it's in the northern part of Italy. Oh yeah, it's Italy. so. The idea was that we're from all over Europe, like different countries, different cultures. There were Christians, there were Muslims, there were white, there were black. So the idea was this multicultural youth exchange. Okay, so at Montecatini, we met with all the other participants in this project, and honestly, people were great. Like, I was just amused by how the fire inside each one of the people there, they were all, they had their talents, they had their, a talented, beautiful, smart, young people. And so it was great. We were immediately split into literal groups. So we had this schedule, everyday schedule, which had us like in groups do different tasks. We had for example, one of the groups had to look after the other groups, like for example, giving water, like little snacks into the breaks. What breaks, you might ask? So we actually we did stuff. It wasn't just having this great holiday. There was a lot of stuff to do. There were in the morning we had some long energizers that were very fun. It was quite fun games we played to know each other better, learn our names, and it was just fun. And the other part were the meat of this project was actually discussing some topics that are very hot in nowadays, like for example migration, religious diversity, and all of this was done through these kind of more mini games, but there were so we did the mini games, like for example there was this game where there some people they were assigned to stay on imaginary border, and they had to keep it so that no one from the other team passes through the border. And that was like a metaphor for how migrants have to what they have to live through to get on the other side. What if if something bad happens in your country and you have to migrate, and all of this. It was just very interesting to see and hear people's thoughts and opinions on these subjects after this game. So they were most of the part, and of course there was it wasn't just only this there were also evenings of every different nation had to host an evening with maybe presentation, maybe interesting workshop. I had the honor of doing a workshop myself. It was for traditional Bulgarian, how do I call it, embroidery, like on the clothes. There were different workshops, there were the French who used photography, for their workshop. It was very interesting. The Greek workshop was also great. And it was just a very, very serious, but also very, very fun way to actually make young people to speak about subjects that really relate to things that are happening in our world now. Okay, it was great. Even there, a lot of people complained about the food. The food, it was just pasta and pasta all the time. I was happy with it. I love pasta. Even the food was great. The city was great. Everything was just amazing. So let's go to the interesting part. On the second day, like after the morning energizers and a couple of other things, so we had lunch. It was great, and I just went to the room of my group leader, and we had to discuss something. And when I came back to my room, when I got back, and I opened the door, I saw my case was widely opened. All the pockets were to my bags. My clothes were everywhere. They were opened. I also saw the bags of my roommate. They were also opened. The bathroom, the door was opened. Even the light was still on, and the door to the balcony, it was widely opened. And I was shocked. So I just ran because when I left the case in my room, it was closed. So I ran to it and started searching for where's my money bag, and I couldn't find it. Inside that bag was my wallet, and my wallet had all my money for the projects and all this week, and also had all my documents. It had my ID card and a couple of other cards. But yes, the document that proved that I exist was in that bag, and someone stole it, and it was very shocking at first. So we just went to the police station, the local police station, and luckily there was a guy who spoke English, because it was very hard to find a policeman who actually speaks in English. So I told my story. He said that that's not a rarity around those parts. I'm not the first one who had experienced this kind of theft, and basically said they can't do much, but they just made this protocol and whatever. It was very, very hard. I was just shocked. But the interesting thing is, well, the reaction to of the people, the reaction of the people in the group of the youth exchange. I was just stunned how people were so willing to help, and they were worried. They were always asking about if things were getting better. I was just amazed by these people. And you see, that just broke all the stereotypes of modern day teenagers who are selfish and care all about themselves, and they just don't give a fuck about anything. No, actually, I experienced people they're very that relate to you, that think the good to you. We almost felt like a big family. It was just fantastic to see these kinds of people. And that's kind of the point of my video, to actually talk about how, in such hard times, all that you take home, like when all of this is over, all that I'm left with is the good memories of good people. But let's do it more in structure, because I'm kind of getting lost in my thoughts. Water. So before this gets a bit chaotic, because I just get lost in my thoughts, I just wanted to point out the meat of my stop with that meat. I meant the point of my video. Sometimes people experience very hard things. When this happened, everyone were willing to help. But in the following days, I heard a lot of stories of people who were there, and some people had such hard times in their lives. I could not believe how strong you have to be to go through all of this. I won't go into detail, but let me tell you, these are some very, very strong people, and they've gone through so much that my problems just feel so insignificant and compared to what they've went through. And I was just stunned how people could be so willing to help despite of their own state being much worse than yours. And not only, there were people who were actually just willing to help, and I also tried to help with whatever I could. be it inspire people who I thought had buried talents inside of them, but they just were too shy to show it off, or too insecure. Because all of this project, when it ended, we had this meeting that everyone said what he got from all of this, and like what changed in him, how the project changed him. So I was so happy to see people that in the beginning were kind of thinking more about themselves than they should, that's including me, at the end were all about the others. They were all thinking about the others and how they feel, and always asking and always willing to help. There were people who were very insecure in the beginning, and at the end they were so passionate about doing what they want with their talents. And I was just happy because I felt like I contributed to this, like I also helped people. So that's kind of the point of this video, not to talk about this particular project, but more to talk about how all of this that we are having our heads filled with, that modern day teenagers are just selfish and they don't care about anyone. All of this we should forget, and as a young generation of smart, good people, to not be afraid to unleash these qualities in us. Be good to others, because you see how beautiful people are. Sadly, they just hide it. A lot of people hide their inside beauty. And I was glad I met those people. I'm glad I went through all of this, even though it was like hell at times, especially with the ID. And I actually named my video like this because I literally stopped existing. That's what the woman in the embassy told me. So I don't exist. So that's why I can't pass the border and go back to Bulgaria, where I came from. And she said, you just don't exist. And I was like, yeah, I basically, now I don't exist. And I was in this land of fairy tales where everyone are just fantastic people. So I'm thankful for this, to all of you guys, if you're watching this, who are at the project. And also, huge thank you for all of you who are watching this, no matter where are you. And just, I hope this message goes to you. If it wasn't clear, if something in the video isn't like the way you think should be, just write down in the comments. That's the point of this video. I want to hear you guys, what you think about this, whether you think about modern generation, if you're young, if you're bigger in age. Just I want to hear you and have this discussion. It may be not just in the comment section. You can message me on all the other social media. I'm very sorry I haven't been posting videos in such a long time, but like a lot of stuff happened. I have a couple of other projects that I'm working on currently for YouTube, so stay tuned. But just it turned out to be harder than I expected, or at least the quality of the videos, like it's harder to make them the way I envisioned them. Yeah, I'm struggling with that. And also a lot of stuff happened recently, so I'm doing all projects also in this direction. And what else? That's it. I think that's it. Open for discussion. Thank you guys for watching. The clips are all taken from Italy, from Rome, Pistoia, and Montecatini. If you want to see more details about this project, you can just go to my Facebook page, or the Facebook page of the project. Also my Instagram, I'll be posting there more regularly. And thank you guys, and see you soon.